With Shavuos just a few short weeks away, our thoughts are obviously turning to this year, Kabbalos HaTorah. What will be on this Shavuos? Perhaps we need to ask a different question. Not just about the Kabbalos HaTorah, but the Torah itself. What is the Torah? What does Hashem want? And that He gave it to us. He wants us to accept it and to live it. If we could boil it down to one central, simple idea, what is Torah all about? We find a very interesting Gemara in Shavuos. The Gemara tells us about one of the most famous Talmudic sages, Rava, who was approached by a tzadduki, by a Sadducee, someone who believed in the written Torah but not the oral Torah. And that tzadduki asked Rava a kasha. He asked him a question. He saw Rava learning intensely, being Omer b'Torah, and he noticed that by Rava was sitting on his hands, they were beneath his knees, his fingers, and they were being pressured so greatly. He was so much leaning on these fingers, he was totally oblivious. There was actually blood coming out of his fingers. And the tzadduki looked at him and he said, Am Peziza, you're an impetuous people. When you first accepted the Torah, you just said Nasiv and Nishma. You didn't ask what was in it. You didn't ask if you were capable of doing it. And obviously I see now that the intensity of your learning is such that you're causing physical harm. You haven't changed. What is this all about? What is this Torah all about? If Hashem demands such intensity to the point of physical harm, what does He want? And Rava, very patiently, very calmly answered him with simple words. Onon de sagine b'shleimusa. We travel with perfect trust. We walk in perfect trust with Hashem. Because whatever it is, whatever the demand is of the mitzvah, of the learning, because nasim oivim, because we are lovers, we have a relationship, we have a closeness, we know that Hashem is not going to ask us anything that we can't do. And therefore, we don't need to know in advance. We didn't need to understand what the Torah asked of us before we accepted it. What was Rava telling that tzadduki? He was telling him a very important, very basic, perhaps the most fundamental idea of what Torah is all about and what Hashem wants from our Kabbalah, what He wants from our acceptance. Ask Shimshon Pinchas Zatzal. Every time you see a book, you see in the beginning, you see a foreword, you see an introduction, you see a preface. The book explains what it's all about. And then you read the book and find out more in detail what was laid out in the beginning. When it comes to the Torah, where's the introduction? There's no introduction. The Torah starts, Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'ha'aretz, the beginning of the world, the creation, and goes into the story of the creation and the original generations, up to Noach and to Avram, through all the children and grandchildren, the Shiftei Kol, and we come to Shmos. We come to, after Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Jews are leaving Egypt, and they receive the Torah. Says Shimshon Pinchas, in this parsha of Kabbalos HaTorah, of when Hashem gave the Torah in Parashat Yisro, we find right before, just before giving the Torah, Hashem lays out the purpose. What is that? Hashem says, I brought you out Kanfei Nesharim, I brought you out of Egypt on eagle's wings. I brought you to me. And now you listen to my voice, you'll accept this Torah. Ushmartem as brisi, and you'll guard my covenant. You'll be an Am Segula. You'll be a treasured nation. We call it Amim. You'll be a Mamlechus Kohanim v'Goy Kodesh. Says Hashem, accept the Torah, and that will be your specialness. That will reveal who you really are, because that's what I want. I want you. My Jews, you're special to me, and I want to get involved in a relationship with you. I want to make a bris with you. I want to have a covenant with you that's everlasting. The purpose of the Torah is that relationship. It's not just about the mitzvahs we do, nor the Torah we learn, nor anything we do in our avodas Hashem for the schar olam haba, which is guaranteed to us. That's all true. It's all important. But what's the core? The core is the relationship with Hashem. That we're an Am Segula. That we're Mamlechus Kohanim, we're Goy Kodesh. That's what Rava told the tzadduki. I don't have to know. Because Nasim Oivim, we're lovers. And this is the thing to keep in mind as we prepare for our Kabbalos HaTorah, is that everything we do as a Yid, every mitzvah we keep, every block Gemara we learn, every tefillah we daven, is all for this central focus, this central reason. and that is to have a relationship with Hashem. And Matan Torah, or Kabbalos HaTorah, which was just a few short weeks away, is an opportunity to reinvigorate that, to reignite it, to re-energize it, to again gain the focus of what our lives are all about. In this world which is filled with such uncertainty, so many problems, Hashem has given us a gift to be able to rise above it. We have to go beyond whatever pressures we have, whatever difficulties we have, whatever nisyanis HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us, and know that ultimately, it's all about that relationship.